Earlier today, WhatsApp University valedictorian Palki Sharma, who graduated top of her class with first honors in fake news and media manipulation, said that many Sikhs were camping around Calgary, Canada in attempts to meet and protest Narendra Modi when he attends the G7 summit. She specifically used the term ambush to try and paint the Sikhs in a bad light, while omitting the fact that Modi's government had a Sikh activist and Khalistani freedom supporter murdered in Canada not so long ago. I'm talking about Hardeep Singh Nijjar. This was a major point of contention between Canada and India, with many politicians going so far as to plead with Mark Carney not to invite Modi to G7. But Palki plays this off as a victory. The fact that her dear leader was reluctantly invited so as not to cause a scene is a win to her and her Bharat netizen followers, even though most of Canada's politicians clearly didn't agree with this decision. It's like being forced to invite the fat kid with a short temper who nobody likes, simply because he would cause a tantrum and destroy the place if he was left out. First of all, let me provide a quick background summary on the Khalistan movement. The Khalistan movement is a separatist movement seeking to create a homeland for Sikhs by creating an ethno-religious sovereign state called Khalistan, or Land of the Khalsa in the Punjab region. It arose during the 1930s when it was clear that British rule was coming to an end. Support peaked in the 1980s and several insurgencies arose in Punjab, the Sikh majority state. In 1984, Indian armed forces launched Operation Blue Star, which destroyed the Golden Temple, a holy site in Sikhism. There are yearly demonstrations to commemorate those killed in Operation Blue Star. The movement petered out in the 1990s due to extreme crackdowns on separatists, factional infighting, and disillusionment from the Sikh population. See, when people talk about India's extreme crackdown on other religions, this is what they're talking about. They love to brag and boast about being the world's largest democracy, but pull crap like this all the time. They should take a leaf out of their former overlord's book, the UK, and offer devolution in their minority areas. Because at the end of the day, this extreme control, this urge for Hindu domination which causes ethnic and religious tensions, is only holding India back from development. Too much central authority, too much Hindu extremism and dominance in politics, too much distrust for other religions and ethnicities. Did China distrust their coastal populations who spoke different languages and had some different customs to the political elites? The Cantonese, the Fujianese, the Taishanese, the Hakka, the Wu people? No, in fact, they opened special economic zones in these areas and watched them thrive and flourish, bringing about the largest wealth creation ever seen in history in such a short time frame, and catapulting China into the superpower it is today. And the superpower that delusional netizens like Palki Sharma think India is. Spoiler alert, it's not. Back to the topic at hand. Perhaps if Modi wanted to be the global teacher, or Vishwa Guru, then maybe he shouldn't have ordered the assassination of people on foreign soil. Keep in mind, this person did not pose any current or credible threat to the Indian state. He was simply a prominent member of the Sikhs for Justice group and spearheaded its Khalistan referendum campaign. India accused him of being a criminal and terrorist affiliated with the Khalistan Tiger Force, which is a militant group but had little to no evidence to make such claims. This is what India excels at. It muddies the waters and blurs lines between fact and fiction to create plausible deniability. But others are catching on, noticing the two-faced behaviors of India. It talks itself up as the virtuous and moral largest democracy in the world, yet orders assassinations of people it doesn't like on foreign soil. It acts friendly to Ukraine while purchasing deeply discounted Russian energy products. It says that Russia is a friend because of this who has sided with India since the Cold War era, yet goes on to plead with America and the EU for military equipment and trade deals. It seems like no other country can really trust India anymore. And what happened shortly after Modi touched ground in Calgary? Trump left the G7 summit. Yep, he headed back to Washington under the pretense of dealing with the escalating Iran-Israel conflict, but a small part of me thinks that he just didn't want to deal with Modi again. I am laughing at this thought because it may actually be true. He already seemed quite tired during the summit, and I don't blame him as he's almost 80 years old. Imagine having to deal with the summit and then having to talk to Modi afterwards. Even though he is speaking in English, Trump would still need a translator to understand Modi's gibberish. Also, let's not forget the awkward hugs, the random slogans about MAGA and MIGA, Mista Dolan Tramp, and many other gaffes. I guess there's one thing I can praise Modi for, being a great entertainer. His talents are truly wasted as a politician. I also wonder if Modi's handler told him that the Native Americans used to be called Indians, and he thought that they were actual Indians. If that actually happened, I don't think even Palki can paint it in a positive light. Let's talk a bit about Trump's role in the G7 meeting. It seemed like he was isolated and embarrassed to some degree. For example, during a rant against immigrants, Mark Carney cut him off and took the mic, leaving Trump just standing there looking dumb and angry. And later on, he started ranting about how he was the only person Putin would talk to, and how Obama and Trudeau bullied Russia out of the G8. In reality, they were kicked out by everyone after their invasion of Crimea in 2014. Then there's the famous whispering between Macron and Maloney. Trump entered the room and sat down while watching the two whisper and eye roll. As the egotistical megalomaniac Trump is, he probably thought they were talking about him, and he just sat there looking dumb and red-faced. Finally, Trump took offense when everyone else wanted to sign a statement of de-escalation between Iran and Israel. Trump took offense because this was partly, or wholly, depending on how you look at it, his fault. He interceded Iranian missiles, provided Israel with intelligence, and basically gave them the thumbs up for striking Iran. They still fund Israel massively through both military and financial aid. Trump and Modi are two sides of the same coin. Comedic relief whose talents are wasted in politics. Seriously, if they joined together as a comedic duo act, they would sell out shows worldwide. But in seriousness, they are both authoritarian wannabes who stoke nationalism, extremism, and fascism in their populace, and I'm not someone who says that lightly. America's greatness, its gilded age, came from an era of state freedoms and lax federal authority. The heavy-handed, top-down approach from Washington in the past few decades has seen the fall of American dominance. And it seems India is also going this way. Delhi dominance is suffocating all other regions of Bharat. From relying on southern Tamil taxes to militarism in the north in Kashmir, India is being a national and international pariah. What's ironic is that China, who many cry about having a top-down authoritarian government, probably has more provincial rights and representations than India and modern America. Is it any wonder why they're smashing India in every single metric and have been doing so for the past half-century? Palki can keep crying about China, but the facts don't change. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.